everyone, and welcome back to the 5-digit United States Cup. I am Bless, here with my co-caster, Mr. Costco Hot Dog. Hello, how are you this wonderful evening, morning?
Doing alright. I had to commentate a few matches earlier for a different tournament, so my head kind of hurts, but otherwise I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good as well. Just watching a bunch of matches today as we had a lot going on, both in the Major League and Minor League, so just been sitting back, enjoying the action. Was waiting on a potential match earlier, but that ended up not happening due to how the bracket played out. So here we are, casting some 5USC to the end to round out the day. So tonight we do have a Major League match for you all. I do believe this is the last match of the night as well. Both West Coast teams, so they're able to take quite a late time for this 5 UTC. And if you are on the West Coast, that is going to be 10 p.m. start time for us, if you just look at your little PC clocks. So it is going to be Oregon A versus Utah A in the lower bracket of the Major League. And let me tell you, oh boy, these teams are cracked. First of all, Oregon A, just 7th seed. Their players are ridiculous. They're a high seed in the Major League, so of course they're going to be exceptional in multiple regards. Just incredible mechanics overall. Perhaps a little bit of a weakness on the hidden, but as it is still somewhat early rounds, quarterfinals, you can kind of say it's towards the early round side still. They should be able to cover it. And they do have that easy slot cover despite the hidden reading weakness. On the other side of Utah, they are basically the Alfie and Zyper show. These two players are so cracked. They are so well-rounded and on top of being cracked. They're amazing at the aim, precision, hard rock mechanics, and they can also play a bunch of the tapping. Both of them played like 10 or 11 maps out of their qualifier lobbies. So you just know that they're really good at the game.
I think sort of two mainstays that you mentioned for Utah A. I believe both of them played for Utah A in the previous 5USC. So it's always good to see some returning players around. I think potentially the case for some of the players on Oregon A as well. But yeah, as you mentioned, it'll be a pretty interesting match. I think Oregon A getting upset last week by seed 10, that being Illinois A, I believe. So maybe a bit surprising to see seed 7 in the second round of losers quarters, but nonetheless, here we are. And currently I think we are just playing both warm-ups for both these teams.
Yep. And speaking of that bracket, Utah actually going incredibly close in their second round upper bracket match against Stateless, losing barely in the tiebreaker 6-5. And then now finding themselves also in the losers bracket. So not to be underestimated either, despite that 15 next to their name in the title.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think it'll be just pretty interesting overall to see how match plays out. I think just like a couple skill sets could be pretty evenly matched by Utah A here, and potentially even outdone, or Oregon A could be outdone on a couple maps. Pretty map dependent. Sorry about that. What were you saying?
Yeah. No, I was basically gonna say the same thing. Both of these teams are really good at mechanics. They have a lot of aim and they have a lot of tapping. I wouldn't expect too much of the reading or the hidden pool. If anything, I would expect Utah to try and pick into that. But we could see it mostly just go untouched, and we could just see these teams fighting over their mechanics picks.
Yeah, no, I don't think too much to say on top of that. I guess in the meantime, just could go over a few of the previous bans, which I have written here. For both sides, again, this is the second round of losers quarterfinals. I believe Utah banning out DT3 and Nomad 3 in their previous match. Oregon banned out, I think, Hard Rock 2 and DT1. And I don't think I'd be too surprised if I saw a few of those stay the same. But not too sure how it'll play out outside of that. At least in qualifiers, they seem pretty evenly matched on like the DTAs.
Yeah, I think the one standout ban out of those would be the easy ban. Or sorry, did you say easy ban?
Oh no, it was Utah DT3 No Mod 3 and then Oregon Hard Rock 2 DT1.
Okay, sorry, yeah, that's my bad. I was looking at the bans for Oregon Smash and it was actually Nevada
Yeah.
banned out the easy. So yeah,
All good.
Oregon banning out the DT1, though when looking at the qualifier scores, I did see a little bit of a stinker on the side of Utah. Perhaps a bit of a 250k gaming going on their qualifiers lobby. So DT1 10.3 mechanics could be a bit of an issue for both of these teams, maybe a little bit lower on the pick priority for both of them. Something they'll see to play into a little bit later on in the match. But we are getting right into the rolls here as both of those warm-ups have concluded.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be Utah A winning this roll, I believe. Off you go,
that's right.
rolling 60, yeah. They will have their choice with how they want to dictate the pick or ban order.
Yep, it's very difficult to call the pick and bans for these two teams without knowing their score sheets because they are just so symmetrically matched up. Both of these teams playing a lot of mechanics. There's a lot of hard rock as well. I believe one of these teams actually just played every single hard rock in one of the previous rounds. I believe it was Oregon who literally played all of Hard Rock 1, Hard Rock 2, and Hard Rock 3 last round. And they were also the only team to play Hard Rock 1 in the round of 32, that very difficult Slam Jam map.
Yeah, that is exactly the case, actually. And did pretty good on pretty much all of them. Hard Rock 1, they got second overall. Hard Rock 2, they got third overall, and Hard Rock 3, they got sixth overall. So I don't think I'd be too surprised to see Utah ban out a Hard Rock here, one of them at the very least. It'll be DT3 actually as their first ban, so they will stay true to one of their original bans. I think makes sense, especially if they aren't feeling too good on the tapping. I do believe Oregon are pretty solid on tapping as well.
Yeah, Oregon also very strong. Lots of strong tappers on Oregon as well. I believe Alina is one of the tapping players. And I actually don't have down who their other tapping players are.
Oregon.
Let me go check that real quick on Oregon A. Because I do remember them having some very strong DT scores, or DT2 and DT3 scores. So it's going to be Alina, Nairuzu, and Chichobi. Phil.
Yeah.
And then it could if it gets into more finger controlled stuff, then it could be main stepping in place of Alina. They are going to be banning out the DT4 though, so no more finger control to be worried about in this pool.
Oregon actually also banning out Hard Rock 3 here.
Okay, I'm not too surprised by that, given how it is a more rhythm-oriented pick. Yes, it's lots of snap alt and reading, but like the rhythm could make things tricky. It is a little bit unorthodox in that sense.
Oh, for sure, especially with OD10 after Hard Rock. So maybe not trying to mess around too much with that. Completely understandable. That we are just waiting on the final ban for Utah A.
I would not be surprised to see a repeat ban of what they did earlier in this round. I believe you said no mod 3.
Yep. That is correct. Free mod 2.
Interesting.
I mean, I guess it's a bit understandable, especially if you don't have a really comfortable precision player on the map. I have played this map set before, but I'm not too keen on what this specific diff is like. But if it's anything like the other diff, I would imagine it's pretty difficult for someone who may not be too keen on precision. Maybe you're just trying to not mess with that.
Yeah. The reason why I'm surprised though is because it seems like both Alfie and Zyper, their two mainstays over on Utah, can sort of flip-flop on the free mod 2 precision depending on the map. They've both played the free mod precisions on the anti-mods, both in the round of 16 and in the round of 32, and they just flip-flopped for each round, one playing on each round there. So a little bit surprised to see this span from them, not what I would expect.
Yeah.
But we are going to get right into the Bix here. It is Utah's first pick.
Will be Hidden One as Utah's first pick. A lot of high BPM aim, I think a bit awkward as well. 230 BPM, air 9.3.
Yeah, and there are quite a bit of overlaps as well. So pair the overlaps with the awkward, sort of almost geometric grid-like aim. There's definitely room to break. Although I would still say it's one of the easier maps in the pool overall. So I still expect some quite high scores for these two mechanics teams.
Yeah. I haven't seen this specific diff, but wonder how much potentially like aim stamina could matter, because I do believe in the difficulty just above this one. It can get pretty draining in terms of just overall aim stamina, even if the aim isn't too difficult. But I guess we're just gonna have to find out how that plays out.
That's definitely a potential issue, I would say. There's a lot of single tapping necessarily isn't the issue, because you can certainly just alt tap at this BPM, or if you just alt for everything as well, then there's no issue in terms of tapping stamina. But there's definitely long periods where you're just moving along that grid, along these 45 and 90 degree angles, constantly going back and forth. So your aiming hand could definitely tire out. Although I will say the spacing is overall quite small throughout the entire map. But we are going to get right into it, and also notably a hidden pick. So Utah potentially trying to poke around that potential hidden weakness on the side of Oregon. In the lobby, we do see Alfie, as one would expect, followed by Catmade, another one of their hidden fill players, and also Charby, another one of their reading/easy/hidden fill players. And over on the side of Oregon, we have Chichobi, as expected, one of their flagship players, alongside Nairuzu, their other flagship player. And then rounding out the roster, we have Mains.
Yeah, that was actually picked by Utah A in their previous match, and do stick with the exact same roster. I believe Charby getting 512k, Elfie getting 484k, and Catmade getting 350k. So see if they can improve on their previous performance. Only early break coming out from Nairuzu, but matter too much, especially with it being traded up by Alfio.
Mains and Catmade also going to find trades on these little geometric awkward aims in the Ki here, and Chichobi's going to follow it up. So Charby is the only FC remaining in the lobby at this point, and they are going to try and really take this lead and run with it. But it is a longer map, a little over 4 minutes, so this lead will take a little bit of time to grow and nurture here. Lots of overlaps in this next section, this slow section as well, so you have to be really careful at counting just how many circles are hiding under there.
Yeah, it will actually trip up Catmade, which I think is fine if you are Utah A. Of the combos you'd want to drop, if you had to drop one, I think it would be Catmade for the time being. Just as long as you're able to keep this higher combo on Charby. That being said,
all eyes on Charby as we head into this next GI section. Sorry for interrupting, go ahead.
No, it's all good. All of Oregon has recovered combo in the meantime. Oh, my bad, never mind. Now just Chichobi and Nairuzu. Alfio did drop actually as well, so there's no supporting behind Charby, so things could get pretty dicey here if Charby finds a break. Or Nairuzu and Chichobi. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's still 30,000, only a 30,000 score difference as we reach approximately the halfway point of the map. So very small score margins still. It's going to take a lot of work from Charby to really secure this victory for them. And Charby's going to break on nothing.
Oh dear. And yeah, that might start to spell disaster for Utah A here. As I mentioned, Chichobi and Nairuzu have both built up combos. Catmade is there with some combo, but that's being pretty much outdone by either of these two combos, and Mains is matching Alfie's recovery combo.
A note about this last section of the map, there is a little bit of tapping, some 5-note bursts, and a little bit longer in there, mixed in there as well, alongside that awkward aim you saw at the start.
Oh.
So we'll see if that manages to trip any of these players up in their reading.
Yeah, unfortunately, Charby does find a drop again. That's traded by mains, but Kamade also dropping, who was the highest combo for Utah A, is now gone, and now Chichobi and Nairuzu are just going to continue to balloon this lead in favor of Oregon A.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of what you would expect from Oregon. This is very much so a quintessential Oregon map where, yes, Chichobi and Nairuzu were struggling a little bit at the start to find their footing, but now later on in the map, they are just dominating, holding this combo, looking so comfortable on these awkward aim mechanics here, on this high BPM aim. And it is going to be a 300,000 score lead for Oregon as they all but secure this first break point in the match, as Alfie will once again drop, and surely that spells the end for Utah here.
You know, barring any sort of just insane divine intervention, the Oregon, I think actually, I believe the first breakpoint of the match.
Yes, that's correct.
It has now ballooned to 500k. Yeah, just incredible performance all around. Chichobi and Nairuzu both having 1k plus combo. Both on reverse chokes.
Yeah,
so just very well played.
Chichobi and Nairuzu really showing off, making a statement that they are Team Oregon A. And also, I forgot to mention this at the start. I kind of brushed over it by the fact that Oregon may have hidden reading issues in later stages, but Chichobi also incredibly skilled at hidden. So if anything, it would be more of an issue of supporting combos, but it looks like Nairuzu also putting up an even better score than Chichobi, and Main's good enough to put up a solid 400k and support that first breakpoint victory for Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, to try on the side of Utah, I believe actually every player improving their score in from the previous match, but again, as you mentioned, just incredible performance overall for Oregon A, and now it is their turn to pick. I keep disconnected, and that's why I started tweaking. That was crazy. I was like, oh brother, you gotta play the map. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Oregon A decide to go from here. I think just overall really comfortable on a lot of maps, so it could go pretty much anywhere, I think.
Yeah, I would think they're going for the Hard Rock again, given the comfortability that they've shown in the previous rounds, but winning this hidden pick really opens up the hidden mechanics pool for them. I wouldn't necessarily say hidden 2, given that although it is incredibly aim heavy this week on the awkward aim, it is still AR8 reading, and that can definitely trip you up with some of the rhythms there. And hidden 3, it's also a little bit of a gamble pick, considering the Pentagon at the start, the diff spikes at the beginning and the end of the map can definitely just entirely decide a map on their own by the Gamba effect. But it's going to be the No-Mod 4, it's going to be the tech, and Oregon A, they're very good at mechanics, they're also incredibly good at tech. Chichobi, incredible tech player. He has lots of players surrounding him to round out a 3-man roster as well. I believe Nairuzu also coming in on this tech. And then it seems like their third player just sort of flip-flops depending on who's feeling comfortable on that map of the week. In qualifiers, it was Enslow. And let me just check the round of 32 and round of 16 here. I don't know if they actually played it. I believe they did not play it. Oh no, they did. They had mains in for the round of 32. So yeah, there is a little bit of a revolving door for that third player slot.
I think Oregon just looking for overall comfort diff on this. I think each round they've done pretty well on a mod 4 slot at the very least, and this is it's a pretty rough tech map. Another map where I know the map set, but not this specific diff. I mean, if you can just tell from just the song, it can be pretty brutal. Well, see how much just overall comfort on tech will matter for sides here.
Yep. So early on, we're going to be looking at some of these larger sliders are actually a little bit tricky to follow, and you can just slider break. You could just break combo simply by not following the slider properly and missing a slider tick. And then towards the middle of the map, we have cut bursts. So a cut quint where the fifth note is a slider head and cut. So that's another pattern that occurs a lot. That's very easy to break on. And then towards the end, basically everything is very tricky, both to aim and to read. And the spacing also does get quite large towards the middle and end sections on some of these jumps. So plenty of stuff to get tripped up on. Definitely a good variety of skills being tested in this tech map.
A couple just loading issues happening here. Shouldn't matter too much. I do believe there was a bit of stalling on the timer for this pick as well, but shouldn't matter too much. Hey, half the lobby's in the map.
There we go.
No, never mind.
Nope, not even half.
Oop.
It does look like it's starting though. Maybe these two are just catching up as we wait a little bit.
Maybe. Let me check.
Anyway, as we are waiting on that, the rosters.
Left.
Oh.
Okay. There's something happening.
There's some sort of tech issue, I'm assuming. Anyways,
Yeah.
It does look like we are going to be having Chichobi and Nairuzu in for this No Mod 4 as expected, and it will be Enslow filling out that third slot for them. On the side of Utah, we do see Alfie once again, as expected, playing everything. And surprisingly, no Zyper yet on these first two maps. It does make me question if there was some sort of scheduling issue and they just couldn't make it, because while Catmade isn't too surprising, as they do have very solid mechanics overall, both aim and tapping, and so therefore I would assume tech, it is going to be Anomaly. Anomaly is, they do play easy. They were on that easy roster for Utah, but I'm not sure how good they are on the tech. So a little bit surprised to see them in over Zyper here.
Yeah. But hey, maybe they know something. Don't know. We'll see what they have to offer here, what they're cooking.
Yep. As we get into the map here, though, from the very early stages, you can immediately see some of these slider shapes are very difficult, very tricky to aim, very easy to just trip up and miss on those slider ticks if you're not following properly.
Oh, I'm actually looking at their previous MP. No, this is just their roster on this map, it seems.
Oh, okay then. Well, I apologize. Sorry,
apologies.
Utah.
We were not aware with your game.
I was not familiar with your game, Utah.
All good, all good.
Now, as we say that, Anomaly will find the first break. Traded out by Chichobi, though.
Yeah, actually, accuracy is pretty decently favoring Oregon A. I think just off of Nairuzu, and they'll find a break. So that now gives combo advantage to Utah A.
And this is a very short map. We are already more than halfway through. And as you can see, the intensity really ramping up there. Alfie finding a missed aim on those 1-2s.
Alfie breaks, but so does Enslow, and that was the last full combo for the side of Oregon A. Now Catmade and Anomaly, never mind, just Catmade, will start to run away with it. Chichobi is there to match the combo a little bit, but oh my, I'm so sorry.
And I believe that might just be another break point.
That's high key my bad. No, it's high key just my bad. Yeah, Catmade, woo!
Yeah. And that looks like it was a full wipe earlier from Oregon, so it is just going to be Catmade holding probably the full combo through the end of the map. There's almost no notes at the end here. So despite the timer, don't get fooled. It's 400k in the favor of Utah as they fight back with another break point immediately.
Bit of an interesting start here for both teams. I think these first 2 points not going exactly how we would have expected, but I mean, it is just off the back of incredible performances all around. Catmade, I believe, with the FC. If not, potentially just a reverse choke with one slider break.
Yeah, I do believe that is an FC.
Yeah, awesome. 2 break points to start the match. It's beautiful.
Yep, and this is exactly what you are looking for as a spectator when you see two mechanics heavy teams going up against each other. You want to see them playing these incredibly chaotic, hectic mechanics aim heavy maps that are just
God.
wild and incredibly volatile. And because of that volatility, you're going to see crazy break points like these first two that we've just seen.
Yeah. You know, love to see it.
I know it's late for some of our viewers over in the Central and East Coast time zones, but you know what? This is a West Coast match, and it's late at night, and we're here to have a real good night with some exciting gameplay.
Yeah, I'm just here to rep East Coast. It's currently 1:30 for me, but it's honestly chill. But yeah, Utah A, it looks like they'll pick Hard Rock too.
That is surprising considering the level of comfortability that Oregon has shown on across all Hard Rock picks so far. But it will be Utah's pick. Hard Rock 2, of course, it is the Precision 6.5. There is a mix of skill sets here, and an interesting mix, I would say, as there are streams in basically all the key eyes. There's long streams, 170 BPM, 180 BPM, but basically for the rest of the map, it is this slow feeling 1/3 swing rhythm, in fact. So definitely tapping accuracy going to be tested heavily. And then on top of that, there is a bit of a flow aim aspect to that as well with the streams. CS 6.5 streams. So, however, both of these teams are incredibly competent at both the Hard Rock, precision aim, and just tapping in general. So I would expect to see some very good scores out of these teams on this map.
Yeah, no, I was looking through the map while you were talking about it. It has a lot of like just really light mech tech in throughout the map, so it definitely makes sense for Utah to go into this, despite maybe not being the team we expected to pick it.
Yeah, giving that Nomad 4 with mech tech, taking that breakpoint on the Nomad 4, probably giving them a little bit more confidence on top of what they already had in this pick, given the light mech tech aspects that you mentioned, as we see those immediately with some interesting slider shapes here. But we will be getting right into the action. On the side of Oregon, we have Chichobi in once again, and Schumer and Main's filling, so perhaps Nairuzu not feeling the most confident on this particular Hard Rock too. Over on the side of Utah, we have Charby finding an early break, and Anomaly as well finding an early break, and it will be Alfie, that star player on the side of Utah, still holding on.
No, I mean, it is pretty early days, so it isn't the end of the world, and Mains does trade out one of those breaks, but this map isn't all that long. We're already approaching about the halfway mark. It is just still this, oh, I was about to say 2v1, but 1v1 on FCs now. Charby finding a lot of axe drops though, so pretty good for Oregon A here as we just now hit the halfway mark of the map.
Yeah, and as you mentioned that accuracy, everyone on Oregon above 90%. Meanwhile, Utah, we have Charby at 82% and Anomaly at 85, just now cusping 85%, now falling back down to 84. But that is going to be a large factor in deciding the winner of this map.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Utah A, you do at the very least have the highest accuracy in the lobby on Alfio, 95.7. But you at least have that going for you, but it'd be pretty rough for Utah A to fight back on this pick here.
Into the ending sections, and Mains does drop one of those recoveries. Chichobi also going to drop the other recovery, so it really is just Schumer against Alfie as the recoveries are dropping on the side of Utah as well.
And Charby does have that little bit of combo, and it's probably going to matter, but Alfio drops, and that's a full reset for Utah A on combos.
Aiming those streams, one of those streams, and it's still Schumer holding on. This is 250k. I think it's just over at this point.
I think barring just a full team chain miss, and even then it might not be enough on the side of Oregon A, but will be, I believe, another breakpoint This time in favor of Oregon A.
Yeah, that is the third break point of the match so far. And 93% FC, but hey, it's an FC. It's still 880k score coming out of Schumer.
Oh my god, that is an FC. He dropped one slider end. It's beautiful. Yeah, that will be.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
And one aspect we didn't. Yeah. And one aspect of this map we didn't mention that ended up coming into play, Alfie just barely misaiming one of those streams, and some of those streams do get rather spaced, especially when you're playing with something like CS 6.5. So if your flow aim isn't really on point, then it's very easy to just under aim or over aim and just chain miss. Anyway, it will be a fast DT2 pick coming out from the side of Oregon. So looking to take a tapping pick, perhaps another tapping pick. Maybe finding some confidence off of the tapping victory they just had on Hard Rock 2.
Yeah, this is a bit of a higher BPM, just burst heavy map. I don't think there's anything too insane outside of like 3-note and 5-note bursts. I think it is like 248, I believe, after DT.
Yes, that's correct. 248 BPM.
Just a pretty burst heavy map, and maybe just trying to see how that works out for Oregon A here.
Yeah, taking the tapping pick on Hard Rock 2, so maybe they think they can find some edges in the tapping skill sets. Now, I do want to quote our very own Vleth for just a moment here and say, you know it's a good speed map when the players break on aim. So, we've seen quite a few unfortunate breaks on the aim in this map so far.
I get it. It makes sense once you think about it.
Yeah. I will say, though, despite the spacing being incredibly small, some of these aim patterns being at pretty strict 45-degree angles, it can actually be kind of awkward sometimes, especially with some circle placement also can actually fool you. It's not always where you would expect. It does play with your expectations just a little bit, making some of the aim awkward, and especially at this BPM. Even though the AR isn't anything crazy like 10.3 or whatever, it's still AR 9.7, which is decently high, and that combined with the BPM can lead to some misaims and due to misreadings. And I think we have a tech issue on Chichobi's end. We should be seeing an abort here.
Yeah, I think they were having some keypad issues earlier in the match. I wouldn't be surprised if this is that coming up again. Thankfully, this was only about, 10, 15 seconds into the map, so that is should be an abort here. But yeah, as you mentioned, 9.7 shouldn't be too hard to, at the very least, read and process the patterns, but yeah, it's still very possible for people to get tripped up. And it could matter quite a bit, as the map is only about, a minute 50? Should hopefully be...
Yeah, it's very short.
Yeah. Just hopefully be getting resituated here.
While we do go ahead and wait for that, I will touch on the rosters real quick. Once again, seeing that duo of Chichobi and Nairuzu on the side of Oregon A, rounded out by Mains coming back in after their performance on Hidden 1 and taking a quick break for these past couple maps. Actually, no, they did play the Hard Rock 2 as well. My bad. So yeah, once again in for the tapping. On the side of Utah, we are seeing a little bit of a switch up, as Anomaly and Alfie are once again in the lobby after the Hard Rock 2, but as Fuhuo coming in place of Charby. So perhaps a little bit more comfortable on these high BPM bursts, as we are finally, once again, getting right back into the action. All those tech issues have been sorted out, and it is a short one, so you wouldn't expect it, but that early break from Fuhuo could end up mattering, as they are also dropping a lot of accuracy here, down at 75%.
Yeah, no, I'm looking back at the at their first MP, and they have 671k with 77 accuracy. So
is that an FC at 77 accuracy?
It was one miss.
Oh, it must have been right at the start of the ends.
Yeah, that being said though, Chichobi and Mains have both found breaks, I believe, and Chichobi in the previous match did FC the map, so this is not looking good for Oregon A, despite Astafuho being down at 77% accuracy.
Yeah, it's definitely slowing the climb of their score lead significantly. But Chichobi and Mains finding breaks basically at right around the halfway point of the map. That is really going to put a big dent in Oregon's potential score lead, or potential total score. As you're already in the last quarter of this map, it is so fast. And Anomaly is going to find a break, missing one of those bursts actually. Mains is going to trade it out, but that's not the trade you want, and perhaps this could be Oregon pulling it back at the last minute. 20,000 score lead and less, and it will flip. Oregon.
Yeah, it is just Astafuho left on the side of Utah A, and I mean, that's not holding a candle to this FC on Naruzu right now. Chichobi has recovered combo, and I think this is pretty much the end of the map. Yes, the end of the map. Oregon A will be winning their own pick off of Naruzu full comboing.
Yeah, and Anomaly really finding an unfortunate break there on the miss aim of the burst.
Oh, 30-50s. It's beautiful. I mean, yeah, I mean, solid performances from both teams, honestly. Just Oregon A, I think overall comfort mattering just a bit more there.
Yeah, it looks like Utah struggling a little bit with their third fill there with as Fuhuo.
Still got 650k. That's so impressive.
I mean, I can see why they would go for that repeat performance, because this map is super combo gameable. It's a minute 50 seconds long. It's super short, so I can totally see it making sense for them to just gamble that as Fuhuo will put up another combo game score. But unfortunately not working out for them there. And that will be Oregon finally consolidating a break point with a glue point of their own. The first glue point of the match. And it will be a 3-1 lead for Oregon as Utah, once again on the pick, gonna have to find some way to fight back here. It will be the free mod 1. So free mod 1, the only joyous song in the pool, I would say, as basically all the other songs in the pool are something you would turn on the radio while you're driving late at night with your friends. To be honest, this kind of fits that vibe too. It's like the one song you would put in to break up the mood a little bit.
Yeah, bit more alt intensive, bit more aim intense, or just weird aim as well. I think there's like a couple like slower sliders that might catch some players off guard.
It's very heavy on the aim control and the finger control, yes. Notably an easy multiplier of 2.6, I believe it was. So if any easy players want to slap that on and play with some CS 1.5 with incredibly dense reading, yeah. I don't think we'll see easy, but we definitely could. And I do know one of the players, I forget who it was, but I know they've played with easy. So Enslow actually has played on the round of 16 free mod 2 easy, and that was basically about as anti-easy as you can get on a free mod 2. Maybe not necessarily that hard, but it was certainly incredibly difficult to play easy on.
I mean,
compared to your typical anti-mods. It was CS4 on the anti-mod last week. So we could see Enslow on that easy once again here on the free mod 1. But no, they will just be on the no mod. Once again, Chichobi and Naruzu filling out the roster for Oregon. The two mainstays in once again doing their perma lobby business. Alpha Yo also on the other side for Utah doing his perma lobby business. And filling out, it is going to be Catmate and Charby. I believe Catmate did play some No Mod 3s in the past for them as well, so not too surprised on this choice of members, as actually we're going to be finding a lot of early breaks on this map.
I think a couple more on Utah A than... Oh, never mind. Just 2 breaks from players on both sides. It shouldn't matter too much as it is still pretty early days, but I think this beginning combo lead will be in Utah A's favor here.
Yep, and notably, this is a very difficult map, probably one of, if not the hardest map in the pool, as we are going to see in this little middle section here, with some incredibly difficult aim control. On top of the density, it's quite difficult to read as well. Perhaps some of the mod players, notably Hidden on Chichobi and Hard Rock on Alfie, they may find a little bit more ease in reading some of this, but we're going to see a lot of breaks actually on that little double stream as well. Both Enzo and Tribe heavily falling to it.
Yeah, I know, it's actually a full team reset on Utah A, as Alfie and Catmade did also find breaks, so combo advantage is pretty staggeringly in Oregon A's favor here.
And once again, on Oregon, it's Chichobi and Naruzu, and I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, we are back. No more tech issues.
Thanks, Pancho.
Yep. But it will be Chichobi and Nairuzu who did eventually find a break, but still putting up quite a respectable score here, as they found a very good recovery combo into that map. Already 450k on Nairuzu, and Chichobi looking to just FC probably one of the hardest maps in the pool. 800, almost 900,000 score, and it is a 600,000 score lead for Oregon here. I'm sorry, Chichobi.
Yeah, unfortunately, no FC, as they will find a slider break, literally like 50 combo before the end.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
Yeah, I mean, still an incredible score from them on the Hidden, and overall just really solid team performance on the side of Oregon A. Lowest score being 504k.
Yep. So the skill cap, alt, finger and aim control pick, not going to work out for Utah here, and they're going to have to find another angle to try and attack this Oregon team from. It will be Oregon's pick next, but we have seen a lot of break points in this match, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it be another mechanics pick toss-up and another break point in favor of Utah, as basically all of the maps in this pool that should be picked by these two teams should be fairly contestable. But so far for these past couple picks, just Chichobi and Nairuzu doing what they do best for Oregon as those two pillars of the team.
I mean, just looking at this pool, I mean, most of the no-mod pool is still open. No-mod 1, 2, 3, and no-mod 5. Easy 1's still up. Hidden 2 and Hidden 3 are still up. Hard Rock 1's still up. DT 1's still up. So, yeah, I don't think I'd be too surprised with just a more aim-focused map just being thrown out there for the sake of it.
Yep. I will note that Oregon did find stability in this match on tapping. So I was going to say maybe they go for a tapping pick, but no, it's going to be the mod one.
Oh baby! Oh, we love aim. We love aim. Oh, and it's CS 4.7.
Game of time.
Beautiful.
Yep. So in my mind, this higher CS, no mod 1, was sort of compensating for the fact that last round we had a precision map in the no mod 5 slot, and this round we are just going back to speed. So they have to put in a little bit more precision somewhere in the pool. At least that's how I view the reasoning for putting a 4.7 map.
Fair, that's fair. I mean, yeah. It is pretty weird to try and balance skill sets on a 5 no mod pool, so I guess that makes sense.
Yep.
But Oregon looking pretty good on this in their previous match. Double 600k and a 400k for Oregon A. So I think they've played it. Yeah, they have.
And once again, I'm not seeing Zyper in the lobby for Utah A, so I do think they simply just couldn't make it for this match, as they have not played a single map so far.
Yeah, that's a bit interesting.
I definitely would have expected to see them on the Hard Rock too, given they particularly excel at precision, Hard Rock, and tapping. But not seeing them in for that is just quite a dead giveaway that they're simply not here. And I think that's really going to be to Utah's detriment. One of their core players missing for the match. And over on the other side of Oregon, they still have that Chichobi and Nairuzu looking to put in even more work as we get into this No Mod 1. Schumer going to be rounding out the roster for Oregon, as we do see they are a Hard Rock player, so given the Hard Rock, given the smaller circles on this No Mod 1 pick, I'm not too surprised to see that a Hard Rock player like Schumer might excel at this. Nairuzu is going to be finding an early break, but we've seen that not matter so much so far in this match, as they have been quite good at finding those recoveries. Over on the side of Utah, we have Alfie in once again, supported by Catmaid and Charby. Charby not necessarily the most mechanically inclined player on the team, of course, because they do have Zyper to cover a lot of that, but still quite solid, although I would say they are more of a reading inclined player based on what I've seen. And we're going to see a lot of breaks in this first Ki section. It's only Chichobi to hold on to that FC with Nairuzu on the recovery as well. Actually, forgive me, Catmaid is still holding on to that FC, showing off some incredible mechanics so far in this match.
Yeah, I think a lot of players getting tripped up. And I mean, just looking at the map, it makes sense. So many just wide angle jumps, especially on CS 4.7. Pretty easy to get caught up on those. But yeah, as you mentioned, Catmaid is there with the highest combo on the side of Utah A at the very least, and Schumer will actually find a break. So at least a bit of leeway for Utah A, but it's still just these two high combos on Chichobi and Nairuzu. Charby breaks, and that's not going to help the cause of Utah A. And Catmaid also drops. It's traded by Chichobi, but Alfio also drops, and now it is just all Nairuzu for this map. I think,
a full team wipe on Utah.
Yeah, I think considering the lead, especially, this might just be a sealed point in favor of Oregon A here.
Yep, and Catmaid finding another break on the slider head out of the break. Now this...
Oh my god.
Space Stream, I forgot to mention it, but there's a Space Stream there. Everyone, I believe, is going to... well, Nairuzu, the only real combo left at that point, will break on it, but it doesn't matter. The map is over, and it is 400,000 score lead in the favor of Oregon, consolidating another glue point for themselves. And given this 400,000 score gap, you can't help but wonder how things might be different if Zyper were here.
Yeah, I mean, Charby not doing too bad, honestly. 300k on this map is not too bad, but it is something you're definitely going to be thinking about. At the very least, it is their turn to pick, but Oregon A will be the first to reach match point here.
Yep, a 5-1 lead at the moment. And Utah losing on tapping, now losing on aim, losing on ult on the free mod pick, or free mod 1 earlier as well. And slowly, one by one, their routes towards victory are getting cut off as Oregon is winning on each and every one of these skill sets. The only skill set that Utah have managed to win on so far was that No Mod 4 tech, or mech tech, or rather slider tech, one might say. And that is a bit of a one-off gimmick pick in this pool. That is the only tech map in the pool. So it's not exactly clear how they should proceed from here. It will be the hidden 3 though. So perhaps just returning to their original match strategy of trying to find some weaknesses in Oregon's hidden reading. They did start off the match with that hidden 1 and then later detoured from that strategy as they did get that break pointed. What would be the verb here? Break pointed? Point broken? I think it's point broken.
I mean, I guess. I'm actually not too sure. Probably point broken.
Yeah, they did get that first point broken on that hidden 1 pick. So taking a little bit before coming back to this hidden 3, this hidden pool in the form of the hidden 3. A little bit of returning to the roots,
that.
maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like Point Broken is really nice, though.
Yeah, Point Broken sounds a lot better, but I think the more commonly termed like break pointed. But yeah, no. Definitely lawless standard, I guess, for overall map. CS5 sounds pretty alty here 9.2, so I don't mind this for the Utah A, especially with how game heavy the hidden one was. So see how this works out for them here.
Yep, good looks in chat. And notably, this map has 2 div spikes, one at the first 20% and another one at the last 80% of the map. And we are going to see perhaps the most famous pattern so far in this map is that little pentagon at the end of this little opening section here. So we'll see if anyone can just manage to combo game their way through this first opening section here, as there is a lot of linear aim control on top of the rhythm and just general ult aim and reading here, as we are finding a lot of breaks already. Charby and Catmade traded out by Enslow. Mains and Chichobi still holding on to those combos, as notably, and I think that's everyone breaking on. No, Alfie managed to hold. This could be a way into the match for Utah, as the gamble on this div spike map might just be paying off for them here. We'll see if Alfie manages to do their good work and hold through the middle of the map. But as we get a bit of a breather to talk here, notably, Nairuzu not in on the side for Oregon this map.
Yeah, no. Utah A have the exact same roster as they did on the hidden one, but as you mentioned, it is Enslow coming in for Nairuzu, and Alfie breaks on
That is not what you want to see on Utah. You're potentially your biggest avenue back into this map here was Alfie holding on to that combo all the way from the beginning, holding the FC, and basically this map is if you can hold on to any sort of combo out or after the pentagon and hit the pentagon, then all you have to do is combo the rest of the easy part of the map, and then there's another bit of a gamble div spike at the end, but you should be pretty good to win it. But that not going to work out for the side of Utah, as despite hitting the intersection, Alfie finding a break in the middle of the map. It is Catmade to find a quite nice recovery, but Alfie breaking on these ult patterns once again, and Enslow and Chichobi both having very solid recovery combos to match that of Catmade and even exceed it.
No, I mean, Catmade does at the very least have the highest combo in the lobby, so you'd have that going for you if you are Utah A, but as you mentioned, there's just nothing matching this, just matching this third high combo on the side of Oregon A. I mean, the longer they hold, the more it's just gonna sink the knife deeper into Utah A here. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but...
Now there are some more intense patterns coming up here as we are approaching the last third of the map. And actually Main's going to find a break there, so the combo that was matching Charby will fall, and perhaps the score will start to tip back in the favor of Utah a little bit. But Alfie going to find another break, and that is looking quite doomed for them at the moment here.
Yeah, not a great look for Utah A here. Slow and Chichobi still holding on to respective combos. I think having the exact same combo, actually, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it means they've broken the exact same... Well, not anymore, but they must have broken on the exact same hit object early on, as the square pattern will claim the combo of Alfie, Charbo, and Mains. But Chichobi also finding another break here at the end. I don't think it's going to matter, as there's just no map left to recoup this 200,000 score gap. But once again, the ending section, difficulty spike, and Catmade, yeah, not going to hold at the end there.
You know, there wouldn't have been enough map left, just going off of the few sliders at the end here, so that will unfortunately be that'll unfortunately be Utah A being eliminated from the tournament by Oregon A. Valiant effort from Utah A, all things considered. It looked very competitive on a lot of these maps, but Oregon A outlasting Utah A here and advancing further in the losers bracket, securing a spot in the semi-finals losers bracket, I believe. Yep.
And it really is unfortunately when you think that Utah were missing one of their star players, while On the other side, you had Chobi and Nairuzu really putting in all the work that you would expect from star players, but that is in no means taking away from what Oregon A have done today. Much congratulations to them moving on in the losers bracket. And of course, huge props to Chobi and Nairuzu for the amount of legwork that they put in. Insane scores coming out from them over and over again.
Yeah, a lot of incredible individual performances coming out from a lot of members on the team outside of that as well. Schumer, I believe, FCing the Hard Rock 2. Just overall, really solid team performance from Oregon A here. And again, commiserations to Utah A as played really well in this match. But I think outside of that, not too much else to be said, I believe.
Yep. So Oregon will be moving on to face the loser of Georgia A versus Indiana A. So if you are an Oregon fan, definitely be on the lookout for that matchup in the upper bracket. Georgia A, notably the first seed of the tournament, looking to continue a dominant run after a 5-1 and 6-0 round 1 and 2 performance.
I was just about to read out when the next match was. We have a 15 UTC match. It's just inevitable. It's always just inevitable.
It really is. There's just something about this tournament that makes scheduling absolutely horrible. And it's really the most inexplicable thing.
You could restrict the tournament to any region as much as you like. There is always going to be 15 UTC. That is the next match tomorrow. It will be New Jersey C versus Louisiana B. But other than that, yeah, bulk of the matches will be tomorrow, starting from 22 all the way to Monday 4 UTC, and then there's a sneaky little Tuesday 3 UTC match then there. So that'll be all for the matches tonight.
Yeah, thanks for staying with us through these late hours of the night. Very late match, late broadcast. I think that's going to be all for us. Of course, once again, congratulations to the state of Oregon's Oregon A team for winning the match tonight. Any final words?
I mean, again, very well played to both teams here, and congratulations again to Oregon A.
All right. Congratulations to Oregon A, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good night, y'all.